Welcome to the Tokai Towers, everyone. I'm Anthony the Artist, and with it being Saturday of whenever the heck I decided to do this, it's time for Weekend Rogues Wrestling vs. Fiction. And joining me yet again is Fawkes the Tactician.
Hey yo gang, how's it?
Welcome back. Now Fawkes, tell me, what are you willing to go for? We have comical fights, stories for the character, or Wrestling vs. Fiction's promos.
Well, last time I went with my strong suit of Hisatsuwaza's.
Okay.
So, let's go with character stories.
Character stories it is. Alright. We have opened up the gate to this tower of Wrestling vs. Fiction, question set 2, stories.
Get your books ready.
We will catch you after the music plays. Now that you've heard the musical break, I am Anthony the Artist, back with more Wrestling vs. Fiction. Now as a refresher, as I'll do every other time, the rules of the game are simple. I am not supposed to win. My opponent has the opportunity to get 2 points, while I only have 1. For every miss they get, I get a point, but they have the choice between wrestling and fiction, and that's their first point. And they could either get a save point or an extra point by guessing who this story is about for this set of questions. Are you ready, my friend?
Ready as I can be.
Are you ready, audience at home? They're a little quiet right now, so we'll just go on anyway. Again, you are free to play along and write your scores totals inside of the comment section down below. We'll also be recapping on the next episode as well, if I don't get through all 10 in this episode. So, let us begin with our first story. Our first story starts with a man born from tragedy and known for being a man of 1,000 deaths. A man who's died 1,000 times and brought that pain onto others. This villain, with the help of his woman Katrina helping him by calling forth a stone to control his might, he will bring about the end of the world. Who is this man? But where is he from? Wrestling or fiction?
Man of 1,000 deaths. Companion Katrina. Utilizes a stone. Let's... Now, I remember from another time that you did say particularly that wrestling does not care to shy away from death. They will gladly write people out.
Indeed they will.
And also, they don't necessarily need to have all that story in the ring, so to speak.
Yep.
But for somebody to go through and be born from tragedy and died 1,000 deaths, I'm gonna have to say that that's fiction.
Is that your final answer for this setup, my friend?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this man be a wrestler.
Aww. Okay, well, I learned more and more.
Yep. Are you willing to get yourself a save point on this one? To be fair, I actually did drop this man's name on accident.
Did you know?
I did. And the people in comments, again, you are free to just, like, lamppost it right there. Because this is all filmed ahead of time. And now, the question is, they say, who's that guy?
Now, can I... Because I know in fiction we have the barrier of, hey, cool, you can just say the series.
Yeah.
Is it fair to also guess for a specific, I guess, faction, like AEW, WWE, etc.?
Yes, I'm willing to allow that.
Okay. I'm going to take a wild swing in the dark.
Yep.
Based on some things that I have heard in passing.
Uh-huh.
Does Lucha Underground count as a, like, faction?
Well, Fawkes, I'm going to tell you this. This is where he is from.
Cool beans. Let's go.
So I will give you that save point. And we are at 1 apiece right now.
Nice.
I will let you know this man's name. For, like I said his name accidentally. In the description.
I would like to go through and catch that. Because I don't know if I caught any part of that.
It was actually one of the first things I said. He is a man known for 1,000 deaths. The name...
Okay, but that's like a title.
Yep, his name is Mil Muertes. Quite literally, 1,000 deaths.
Oh, yeah, I guess translated, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Like, as soon as I said that, I'm all, fuck! I can't believe I did that.
Well, unfortunately, it went over my head, so...
Yeah,
you listeners out there, if you were keen enough, maybe you got that point. I didn't.
Like I said, I have definitely... We've definitely spoken about, Lucha Underground a lot, and to be fair, Pentagon Jr. actually is from that, who I've mentioned on other things.
That was from last time with the Hisatsu Wazas. Yep. I remember him.
Yep, okay. And now we go on to... Alright, this one might be an easier one just because the description is a bit easier to work with.
Fair enough.
It was on the something day of the something month of this year where a poor keeper of the grounds was just horrendously just destroyed on accident. And in that destruction he decided to get his revenge on the people who caused his death by coming back in a fiery rage of hell, fire, and brimstone. As well as some fancy clothes.
Ooh.
Can you tell me, Fawkes, is this wrestling or fiction? Although when I say fancy clothes, I don't necessarily mean fancy. I just mean fancy for
okay.
Here.
So I have an idea of a couple of people this could be. So I'm going to go with wrestling because these are some older folks.
Ah, damn, I can't believe you thought of that one. But no, it is not wrestling, unfortunately.
No! Dang it. Okay, well, I was hoping it was going to be either Kane or Undertaker since you said fancy clothes and or brimstone.
Yeah.
Okay.
My description probably wasn't very apt, but it was more so in the first part where the hint was. Can you guess who or what this is from?
Okay, so you said groundskeeper that was unalived rather mercilessly.
Yes.
Groundskeeper returning. Hmm.
It's just on the tip of your tongue, isn't it?
I feel like I should know this. And unfortunately, I'm going to go call it out.
Uh-huh.
But why don't you tell me what it is so I can get to kicking myself?
On the 14th day of the 14th month, poor groundskeeper Willie was burned because Homer touched Willie.
Okay, this is Simpsons.
Yep.
That would have been way too much of a shot in the dark for me.
Yep. Although it
I
is,
unfortunately did not grow with this boy.
it's a Treehouse of Horror a bit.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, like, the world of fiction is so engraved. Although, to be fair, like, I was trying to word it in a way that I didn't accidentally make you guess Freddy Krueger. Which is actually what that, like,
Ooh.
yeah.
But is Freddy a groundskeeper?
I couldn't tell
Like
you.
if you were to go that way, I would have much sooner thought Jason than Freddy.
Ow. I don't know if he was the groundskeeper, but, like, it's been a while since I've seen, like, Freddy Krueger or in anything, so, yeah.
That's true. Nightmare on Elm Street. Malevolent spirit of a child unaliver
Yep.
who had been burned to death by his victim's parents after evading prison. Okay, so definitely I get the merciless unaliving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see much in the way of groundskeeper or anything.
Yeah.
I think he was just kind of.
Yeah, like I said, I was keeping some, like, hints in there with something day of the something month.
Although the Jason Voorhees would be a good idea too for another throw off of that, because Camp Cook turned unaliver.
Yep.
Which is mom, but you know.
Oh, I did not know what you call it. His mom was the camp cook. I knew she worked there. That makes sense.
Yep.
All right. Well, and we will go on to the next one. The next one starts with this. Hailing from parts unknown, this being laid waste to opponent after opponent after opponent, even taking out the hero of his franchise. And when I say franchise, I mean either wrestling syndication or a story of fiction. His first victim was an Elvis impersonator.
Okay.
Is this wrestling or is this fiction?
I'm gonna big shot in the dark here.
Uh-huh.
Because you said Elvis impersonator.
Uh-huh.
So while that could very easily be done in wrestling, but you said being.
Yes.
Which then leads me to think more fiction. Now, question is, am I so lucky that it is an anime specifically? Because if we're going anime and music, it has to be JoJo.
Is that your final? Is that your final assumption, my friend?
I have a feeling it's going to lead me down the wrong direction, but that's where my brain wants to go, unfortunately.
All right. So your answer is fiction, then, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this being is a wrestler.
Ah, dang it. Okay.
Can you tell me the identity or the origin of this wrestler? Or his franchise, if you will.
Let's see. So obviously it's somebody in, I feel like, more mainstream if somebody's going to be an Elvis impersonator.
Yeah, it's. I'll give you a hint that I believe it's wrestling's golden era, so he was an '80s dude. Who's that guy?
Let's say WWE.
All right.
Hopefully, as a safe guess.
And the safe guess saves you yet again. Would you like to know the
Whoa.
identity of that wrestler?
Sure. Let me at it.
He's a man from parts unknown. A man who called his own death, surprisingly enough. He is the man who took Hulk Hogan over his head, dropped him, and then gave him a warrior splash. He is the man known as the Ultimate Warrior. But yes, the Ultimate Warrior is the name of that man.
Nice.
His debut match, he took out an Elvis impersonator known by the name as the Honky Tonk Man.
Okie dokie. Learning some stuff today.
That is the whole point of Wrestling versus Fiction. You learn some fun shit.
Fair enough.
Alright, on to number 4. Alright, good thing that it is Saturday night that we're doing this and not Tuesday night. Because when the 3 a.m. bus pulls in, a man who was hit by that bus comes to get back at his workplace, who unfairly just released him from duty. So, his 3 signs are when the light flickers on and off, and a phone rings and no one is there. All shall beware of this man. Who is he? And where is he from? Wrestling or fiction?
Okay. I think I have an idea.
Okay.
Now, I am not very acquainted with the show in question that I am thinking of.
Uh-huh.
But let's take a guess on fiction.
And is that your final guess for this moment, my friend?
That it is.
Well, your instincts are correct. This is a fictional character. Well, to be fair, they all are fictional, but...
Well, yeah.
But can you tell me the identity of this character, or where he's from?
Now, I have seen this as one of many things from this series.
Uh-huh.
As, like, heavily passed around jokes that are the like, hey, cool, do you know this series? This is one of the jokes that you will probably see.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go with SpongeBob SquarePants.
Uh-huh.
And even slightly further of a guess, despite the fact that it doesn't net me any extra points beyond,
Yeah.
as the hash-slinging slasher.
You even got the name right, my friend. You got the name, you got the answer, and...
Let's go horror tropes!
Oh man, I was honestly hoping you'd get that. But yay!
Good stuff. And if I am not entirely incorrect, I think that's my first correct question this time.
It is.
Oh boy, I got some catching up to do.
And we will end this last question time.
Final round.
Alright, he is a man who lives with no fear. A man whose name has brought misfortune to all those who've borne it before him. His opponent is a man who wears a parka, and every incarnation of him has fought a man wearing a parka. Who is this man and what is he from? Wrestling or fiction?
Oh boy. A mantle that has been picked up over time
Yep.
and always fights a person in a parka. Mm-hmm. Well, based off of the current given information, I feel bad because even though it's not technically a name passed along,
Yep.
there is one very specific character that comes to mind, but I feel like that's not the character that we're going for.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Misfortune. Tied to a name with one constant enemy, always in a particular clothing set. Okay,
Wait.
so unfortunately, based on the given, it's not the character that you're trying to get me to guess,
Yeah.
but my brain immediately, okay, conflating multiple clues, and unfortunately, I think it's throwing me off.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that this generally makes me think of is Kenny from South Park.
Okay, so your guess is fiction.
Yeah, and I have a feeling I am heavily off.
A little bit, yes.
Dang.
It is a wrestler.
Okay.
Although, I did list something of a clue that would help you out.
Okay. Parka in wrestling.
That's not it. It's not the parka. I said his opponent was in a parka, is what it was, so.
Oh, but I mean, that could at least lead me to
Yeah.
the general vicinity.
But yes.
Which at that point, the only person. Well. Okay.
Although the enemy has gone by the name of Park due to legal issues with the naming convention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could understand that. But yes, he rivaled up with a guy. That's a parka. or a man who was given that mantle. Again, his name is a cursed one, and it is a mantle handed down, which is honestly an interesting thing with wrestling. Can you guess? An organization anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Bum, 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 bum.
Now, because of this,
Yeah.
I'm torn between two for guessing.
Alright. Crazy enough, he is technically on two different franchises, so... Or, I'm giving it credit for two different franchises, so your guess is good either way. Or... Your guesses.
Okay. Well, as much as I want to take a guess at what I think is the older, which would be WCW,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should take a safer guess with the more modern WWE.
Is that your final answer? Bum bum. Bum bum. Ba-la-bum.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well guess the WCW is my final answer. If I'm gonna be wrong, might as well be wrong the whole way.
Well, you kind of were on some of the track. The guy's rival actually did wrestle for WCW at one point under the name La Parka, changing his name to L.A. Park after legal issues with AAA wrestling. The wrestler in question is the man who lives with zero fear, Cero Miedo. Soy un Pentagon Jr.
It's the return of the mans. I could have guessed Lucha Underground.
Either Lucha Underground or AEW.
Dang it. Okay.
Well, that unfortunately is it for this episode. We will catch you tomorrow for Sunday's Wrestling versus Fiction.
Well, and I will be out studying in this entire time to try and do better next time.
Study, study, study.
Life is study, boys. Better keep up.